Republicans are looking to blame someone, anyone, for the fact that the red wave election turned into a red piddle. While Trump and his terrible candidates are getting the lion's share of the blame, amid calls for more electable Republicans, good luck with that, other sources of blame include women. Yes, women, specifically single women. In fact, I'm going to give you some headlines here and some tweets from notable conservative pundits. First, we'll show you the right-wing Washington Examiner headline saying that no one benefits more from the destruction of the American family than the Democratic Party. Great. Molly Hemingway, the editor-in-chief of the Federalist, claimed to have that the massive political incentive Democrats have is to keep women unmarried so that they will vote for Democrats and not for Republicans. Okay. But there's more. Fun times. We have to reckon this is a political force. On the right, we love to mock and complain about this, but millennials will have the highest proportion of unmarried and childless women hitting 40, probably in all human history, and they will vote to ruin your life. Yes. Yes, the women's are ruining your, they're going to vote to ruin your life. Okay, all right, sure. Sure, buddy. Oh, but there's more, of course. C.J. Pearson, by the way, he's only 20. I hope the unmarried women that voted en masse for the left realize that having the right to kill your unborn babies won't do you much good when you can afford to buy groceries or gas up your Prius. Funny thing about Prius, you don't always have to put gas in them. You could charge them too. They're a hybrid vehicle. Bro, really? Read a book. Do something. The next generation of conservative leaders, folks. Wow. Jack Posobiec says the regime wants to turn everyone into unmarried women. Yes. Wow, that is slightly transphobic too. Well done on that one. Congratulations. But again, it's not even the worst. It gets worse. Much worse. In fact, boom. Joel Berry, who is let's see. He's a notable Republican figure. Writes this. This is from the Babylon Bee, actually. He is the managing editor. Unmarried women in America are lost, miserable, addicted to SSRIs and alcohol, racked with guilt from abortions, and wandering from partner to partner. Except for me. He probably thinks that, damn those women going from partner to partner, they always skip over me for some reason. They're the Democrats' core base now, and the Democrats will do everything possible to manufacture more than them, as if they're coming off some sort of assembly line. Are you kidding me? Wow. Wow. All right, there's more. Andrew Torba, who runs Gab, you know, the one full of Nazis, sent out a newsletter declaring that democracy is basically illegitimate. The votes shouldn't matter, votes don't count, because, quote unquote, the godless unmarried whores of Babylon select your leaders so they can continue to slaughter their children. Get help. I mean, seriously. Get some, like, counseling or something.
You idiot.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with all of these people? This is incel shit. Total incel shit.
Sexual anarchy.
Yeah, you know what? They wish. Even though they're saying the complete opposite. Look, unfortunately, this has made it into the mainstream of the Republican Party. In fact, last week, you might remember that I covered Jesse Waters when he said this.
But Democrats are dominating the cities. I mean, absolute dominations, 85 to 15 types of spreads. Also, single women are breaking for Democrats by 30 points. And this makes sense when you think about how Democrat policies are designed to keep women single. But once women get married, they vote Republican. Married women, married men go for Republicans by double digits. But single women and voters under 40 have been captured by Democrats. So we need these ladies to get married. And it's time to fall in love and just settle down. Guys, go put a ring on it. And
guys, go put a ring on it. Men, you got to get your uppity women under control so they can be good Republican voters. You know, since we had to give them the right to vote. And now we gotta control them and tell them to vote against their own financial interests. Look, here's the thing. When it comes down to it, reproductive freedom, which is, but look, it's about two things, right? For one, being freedom. I think it's bodily autonomy, okay? Very important. And letting trans men, non-binary, intersex people be in control of their own reproduction. Important. I believe it's a human right to be able to control when and if you have children. Now, the other thing, and there's a big overlap on both of these, by the way, is economic. Women have an economic freedom allows them to have reproductive freedom. Reproductive freedom allows them to have economic freedom, as well as social freedom. Freedom from toxic relationships. Freedom from toxic marriages. To be able to escape from these bad relationships or toxic families. It allows them to do so, okay? And so, look, having the choice to get out of these toxic marriages, the types of toxic relationships that toxic men have a hard time trapping them in when these women have reproductive freedom, resources to escape and find these healthy relationships or find no relationships at all, because again, that's up to them, right? They have the choice whether or not they can have kids or want to have kids or want to have families. That's the thing that right-wingers want to shut down. They don't want you to have those choices. The right-wing's war on bodily autonomy and higher wages and benefits for women stems from a desire by certain men to try to keep women in bad relationships where they're forced to have babies that tie their lives forever into those with the men. That's it. If you want to have a family, I mean, you could start by being a better person, man. Hey, only if you're one of these toxic people. But instead, people like Jesse Waters, they'd rather tear women down. And you saw these responses, same thing, the incels. They'd rather tear women down and make them subservient. And it's very clear that the majority of the Republican Party, at least the men, are interested in this. And let me add into another layer here, okay? This feeds into white nationalism, Christian nationalism specifically, because a lot of these people understand what they're looking for. Not just more babies, but white babies. And they also claim, by the way, that it's the left that's tricking women out of getting married, which is interesting. Because for one, it's super patronizing and assumes that women are dumb. Because again, that's what they think that they are. They're just a walking rib with a womb. And it's the Democrats going out there tricking them into believing that they're socially equal to men. And since they do that, obviously they're going to vote for Democrats. Really? Is that all you boil this down to? Wow. Now, look, there are women, by the way, who have internalized the idea that they're not socially equal men and don't deserve equal rights and responsibilities. Two of them are Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. You also had, of course, the late Phyllis Schlafly. And of course, there's also women who, by the way, just vote Republican And they do so because of pressure from the communities, churches, families, possibly spouses. Again, we're social creatures, and so that community pressure really can have an impact here. For example, I have an extended family member who actually was a secret Democratic voter. You know, she was a Republican around all of her friends, you know, around the people that she lived in, her entire community, because they all voted Republican. Her church voted Republican. She reached out to me and be like, "Yeah, I'm progressive. I'm a Democratic voter, and you know, I don't agree with anything, and I always vote against them, but I don't dare say it. I don't dare talk about it. Hell no. You know why? Because I will be isolated from my entire community. They will absolutely turn on me. Look, and that's what you see in conservative communities, by the way. I think it was John Oliver did a segment on transgender people, by the way. So this conservative family, you know, their daughter's trans, okay? And, well, once the community found out that, oh my God, you're supporting your transgender child, that's it. You're out. You're out of the tribe. Get gone. There goes the entire community. There goes your entire support network. So look, pressure matters a great deal. Okay, and there's that societal pressure. But at the same time, again, obviously most women are smart enough to understand that fair wages, healthcare, childcare, paid leave, and all that stuff is a good thing. And generally, if you don't think that way, it's because you already are set in all of those things and you're not worried about anyone else. Oh, yeah, no, I don't need those things. No, I got a good job, or my husband's got a good job. Whatever the situation happens to be, I don't have to worry about that stuff. Or I'm past childbearing. I don't need abortion. I don't need birth control. I don't need any of that stuff. And that's your average Republican voter. But, you know, getting back to the point, right? When Republicans talk about incentivizing marriage, what they really mean is forcing. They want to create a society where women feel like they have to get married to survive economically. They also want to create a kind of weirdo sexual welfare program for incels. I'm not kidding. Again, it involves pushing women down so that men who refuse to become better men, who value their partners, who value their relationships and contributions to those relationships, don't have to be better to get relationships. Again, it is sexual welfare. They want women handed to them as if they're some sort of prize. Or if they're owed, they're deserved. An object they can do whatever they want with. That's what the incels are doing. And they've been very, very clear about that. And I've showed you examples of that before. Matt Walsh, for example, great example, talks about how, you know, dating sucks and pushes arranged marriage. Hey, well, arranged marriage. You know, dating is like trying to pick out mustard or ketchup or whatever weirdo analogy he tried to make, which is completely off base, ridiculous. He says, you know, it would be better if somebody just picked my mustard for me. No, how about freedom, Matt? Arranged marriages. Arranged marriages. You're kidding me. And then talking about how fertile 16 to 17-year-old girls are. That is weirdo behavior. That's gross. That's groomer stuff. What's wrong with you? And by the way, they also want women to remain abstinent, forego an education, and marry young. Gee, I wonder why. Very strange. Very strange. This is all predicated on taking advantage of youth, ignorance, as well as to try to groom young girls into being their personal baby factories. It also sends a message that they're not to be taken as legitimate voters or citizens and do not deserve a say in the government unless their husband directs them to do so. And by the way, at the same time, they also say, oh, women, you're at fault for everything. Which goes along with the far-right ideology, going all the way back to original sin. where Eve disobeyed Adam, God, and ate from the tree of knowledge. They're even telling you in the story, knowledge bad. You should avoid the knowledge. If you do so, you will get punished. And by the way, it's her fault. And there's a point to that story. That point is women bad, knowledge bad, man listening to man and authority good. Why are you women doing that? Now, why are so many people leaving religion? Why are so many women leaving the Democrat or Republican Party and voting for Democrats? Why are they doing that? Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. This is who they are. And by the way, it's who they've always been. So let's not be surprised when enough women, and we saw that during the midterm, decide they've had enough of these guys.